So I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw what I titled "Hollywood Secretly Loves Hip Hop," and it was a montage of it was put up by Up Rocks. You guys familiar with Up Rocks?
I am.
So there was a recent post that they shared. It had multiple Hollywood A-listers who were, they placed together in a montage giving props to hip hop albums.
For me, it was like Black Moon, Bizarre Ride, But Far Side, People's Instinctive Rhythms. I can just keep on going, but it's all early 90s. Oh, God. De La Soul is Dead, 3 Feet High and Still Rising, Public Enemy. I mean, that was my time.
I'm gonna just be honest with you. Like, we partied in some situations where, when no cell phones were allowed, and I watched him rap scenario. Here we go, yo. Here we go.
The first time I heard Doggy Style.
Summer camp.
Yeah, man.
That's for kids.
Yeah, I was born in 1982. I was 11 years old. And I remember I'm really into Wu-Tang, and they were supposed to come to Vancouver, I think in 1996, and they were not allowed to come due
because they couldn't.
I think
too many of them had criminal
records. I think
records.
they were facing weapons charges.
Yeah, it was like
Big L. I'm putting groups in.
Yeah, sure.
As one.
As an act. Okay.
Big L, Tribe, Mobb Deep, Kendrick.
Kendrick makes the top 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Gangstar.
Okay.
Blame it on the black, blame it on the white, blame it on the dog, blame it on the Muslim. Everybody wanna blame her, just blame it on the motherfucking killing everyone. Everybody wanna get high, everybody wanna...
Classic NWA album. You want me to...
Do you know the lyrics?
There's a little something better, like me. Never should have been let out the penitentiary. Ice Cube, I'd like to say that I'm a crazy mother from around the way.
Big rap fan.
I am, which surprises a lot of people about me. But yeah, I am.
What rap do you enjoy?
Well, I think initially I got into Eminem and was obsessed with learning. I think every kid in my class. I think I was the first kid in my class to learn all the words to Real Slim Shady and
From Naughty by Nature to Jerry the Damager, Gangster, Wu-Tang, Big L. Those kind of MCs.
After watching that video, are you guys as shocked as I was with the names that were associated with this video and some of the albums that they selected?
No.
Dang, y'all said no fast. Go ahead, Terry.
I mean, it's just that, to me, it seems like it's just singling out the white guys and one chick in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And these look like some of the people I went to school with. And these are some of the same people that I may have seen in concerts and things of that nature. What a lot of people don't realize is hip hop and his music was coming out at the same time that a lot of these cats were growing up. It's literally a part of the fabric of America now. So, I mean, you can't really get around the influence or the sound or even wanting to be a part of it because of where you grew up at or when you came in, to your introduction into hip hop. Like I seen one of them brought up listening to Doggy Style. Mm-hmm. That's literally the first, my brother bought all the hip hop stuff into the crib. Doggy Style is the first joint that I went out and purchased myself that had a parental advisory sticker on it. I had some stuff other than that, but that's when I was like, no, I want my own of this one. So I went out and bought it myself. And they probably shouldn't have sold it to me because I was too young anyway, but nonetheless, I got it.
Right.
And I mean, it was, especially if you listen to or watched MTV and BET, even if you watched MTV and only seen the rock and roll and the grunge era type music, there still was a show that played all hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So this is being introduced to the masses at the same time. So, I mean, this doesn't take me by surprise.
I mean, for me, hearing someone mention Big L threw me for a loop. Because when I went to high school and coming up from where I'm from, I didn't know that many people that were up on Big L, that were older than me, that was my age or younger than me. So when I heard Big L, that was the curveball for me, is when I heard a couple people mention Big L. Now Tribe, early Tribe, I get it. Especially De La Soul, that's dope. Somebody also mentioned the Far Side. That one was a little, I guess, different for me as well. But the Big L is the curveball for me.
I don't think I mean, they used the Far Side song for one of the movies in the 90s. That was when the movie came on, I want to say that Passing Me By was playing, or it was in the movie. That wasn't a hip hop related or black movie, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So I mean, there's a lot of things that are just built into the just it's iconic at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can really say about it. It doesn't surprise me that people have this knowledge of certain rappers. Like somebody might be talking to me and I might say something about Sublime. And they're like, how do you know about Sublime? It's like, I mean, I don't know. I just know about Sublime. I can't say that I was ahead in that genre, but there's certain artists that I picked up on and listened to and was a part of, you know what I'm saying, what I listened to. So, I mean, I can't be surprised about that.
That's fair. Do you got anything, Lone? Or I mean, we came up in the same ecosystem.
No, I don't know. I honestly don't care.
Well,
you know,
we
like,
need the button.
but you know, but it's you know, like it's like the celebrity type worship type thing. Like I don't care about these. I don't care what they like and what they don't like. They're not my friends. Like I don't know them. Sure, but I feel like people that grew up around the same time, just like Terry said, I feel some people listen to certain things and gravitated towards certain things, and just what it is. And around that time, especially in the '90s, MTV was big, and it was kind of a big collective pot of a lot of stuff. So
yeah,
it was kind of easy to kind of do some digging. Especially depending on where you're from.
True. That goes into it. Jump in, Jay.
Well, you know, the crazy thing, I'm not surprised by this. I mean, especially with Seth Rogen. You know, I remember watching 40-Year-Old Virgin and him having on a Liquid Swords t-shirt. You know, I remember another Seth Rogen, Knocked Up. The beginning of the movie is literally, you know, while they're showing the banner of, I can't remember what movie company produced the film or released the film. I remember hearing Old Dirty Bastard.
Yeah.
You know, so I want you to think about it like this. You know, say you were 18 when Doggy Style came out.
Okay.
So now you're knocking on your 40s if you aren't in your 40s or in your 50s rather.
Yeah.
You know, when you were outside, you know, the people you might see with gray hair driving a Volvo, you know, and worried about taking kids to soccer practice.
Yeah.
Those people, their formative years, you know, Doggy Style was the biggest thing popping as far as Snoop Dogg and Death Row and all these things, not just in hip hop culture, but in pop culture. You know, so I'm never surprised when I hear these people, not only in America, you know, because the kid from the Harry Potter movies,
yeah,
you know, he was talking
Daniel
about
Radcliffe.
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe. You know, it's not from here. I mean, I'm sure like he was here back and forth because he's in the Hollywood system. But you've got to understand, this isn't just American pop culture. This is pop culture that goes around the world. You know, a lot of times when we have discarded our rappers here and we're like, oh, that's not popping anymore, they are still seen as big celebrities when they get across the water. You know, I remember seeing a thing where one of the beat miners, I hate that I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Evil D, yeah.
Imagine.
When he walks down the street or he's going crate digging in Japan, people run up on him like they would run up on, you know, like it was TMZ or something. Like they have that kind of reverence for the culture. You know, I saw a thing with DOS Effects. I don't know the last time I seen DOS Effects playing anywhere in the United States of America, but, you know, when they did their Unsung, they said they can go across the water and get their money. You know, so I'm never surprised, especially when it's international.
Yeah.
Because there are people here who can't get arrested, who can go over there and be treated like gods. You know, so I once again, hip hop is pop culture, you know, and not even the hip hop that we think that they would know. You know, there's people who see this and they can't believe you know, all these, you know, white Hollywood stars aren't saying, well, you know, I liked Eminem, or, you know, the first this that, or I'm a huge Beastie Boys fans. For no
that was
reason.
the one that wasn't from America.
For no, yeah, exactly. But for no other reason, because they, you know, they think that white people would automatically, if they're into hip hop, gravitate towards white, you know, artists. Still the culture, but still white artists.
Right.
You know, but not only are they naming these, they're not just naming the surface people. You know, because you could have had people say Coolio or I don't know who, Snoop Dogg. That's not surprising. You know, but then when they say Gangstar, when they say, you know, Black Moon. People are like, whoa, who are these people?
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, I'll just tell a quick story and then we can probably move on from this one because, you know, none of us are surprised at this point. I remember when I went to basketball camp, I can't remember if I was like in the 5th or 6th grade. I think I was maybe 6th going into 7th. It was on the campus of St. Louis University. And like the coach at the time was a cat named Rich Grauer, and he had his own basketball camp. I'm meeting people, you know, everybody's kind of their own little version of a baller, if you will. And I met these kids. There's a private school in St. Louis called Chaminade. And we were just listening to tapes. Like some people brought a boom box, some people brought a TV. And I remember that's when like I had heard NWA and Eazy-E, but I wasn't big into buying music at the time. My money was for video games. So, you know, I heard what was on the radio or the Hip Hop Countdown and Report or mix shows or what somebody else might have had. That was the first time, you know, somebody sat down and was like, yo, have you heard the entire NWA album? Some white kids who went to private school where they were ones to break out the NWA album. So this was already a part of their culture. And like I said, those are kids who, you know, they're probably all, you know, grown up and have their own families now. And, you know, when you see somebody with gray hair who might have on, you know, a suit and tie, that person is potentially, you know, as much into hip hop as somebody who has on baggy jeans and a pair of Timberlands. So the culture is just, it's something that can't be denied at this point.
Hey, I guess I missed.
We shouldn't be surprised. We should never be surprised when people are into the culture.
Hey, well,
Mike is.
Yeah, clearly. 'Cause I didn't grow up around people that was talking about Big L. I didn't. So, hey, maybe I should have asked the right people.
I think Big L just sticks out to you, but I mean,
it does. Way out, actually.
Nonetheless, I mean, somebody's soundtrack, everybody's soundtrack is eclectic in some way, shape, or form.
That's fair.
In my personal opinion. So,
that's fair.
I mean, that's why this doesn't surprise me at all.
Y'all make very good points. So, I guess I'll be on the island on this one. But I never see content like this where there are will we say mega stars? A-listers, is that what we want to say? I never see conversations shared where people are showing hip hop in a positive light. This was positive to me. It's just dope to hear them talk about dope records that they came up with. You guys think there's any reason behind that? Because this one shocked me a little bit. I don't see content shared like this.
I don't think it was positive or negative. I think it was just them talking about who they listen to.
Okay,
and some people got hype about who they said they listened to.
You know, they probably shared.
So, but would it be fair to say that a lot of the media that we tend to see in today's era tends to go more towards, I'm going to say, either negative or beefing or somebody is ops or something like that? This right here was just dope for me to hear people talk about good albums that they grew up on.
These are small pieces out of larger conversations, I feel.
Well, let's go.
You know, and so, I mean, I'm glad that, you know what I'm saying, they in that larger conversation, it probably was an hour interview, and
right.
They took a minute and a half to talk about their favorite hip hop albums or the music they grew up on. I think that's dope.
Right.
But, you know, is it something that really is something you can say, oh, this is hip hop in a positive light? I don't think that's really something that we can point to and say, hey, look at them shining a light on hip hop in a positive manner. I mean, because you notice the whole people with beef and ops and this, that, and the third, they didn't really, I mean, maybe NWA, but they really didn't mention artists that fall into that category. You know, nobody's talking about rappers who are always, you know, on a police blotter. You know, like it. I mean, we don't really even talk about that here.
That's fair.
You know, not because we don't think people are interested, but that's really not our lane to talk about the people who are, you know, we come at it, I think, from a more cultural standpoint. If it's something that's really large, that's in the cultural, and we think we have something to add, but I just don't, that's not something we do here. And so I'm not surprised that, you know, when you talk to Seth Rogen, he doesn't want to talk about Mo3 and
that's a good point.
And
that's a good point.
You know, Chirac or whatever the politics and the cultural impact of the music is concerning that.
Yeah, I'm cooked on this one. Y'all I'm fried on this one.
No, it's all good, you know.
Yeah, well, okay.
I guess you weren't outside, Mike.
I thought I was outside a little bit. Dang, I was outside.
So do you think
because they didn't mention, none of them even mentioned Tupac or Biggie.
Go ahead, Lon.
So do you think big stars should promote or mention these albums more when they are asked about topics related to themselves?
I don't think it hurts. I don't think
it matters, though.
I don't either.
I don't think it hurts. I mean, even if it doesn't matter, it doesn't hurt.
But why?
That's what I'm saying. But y'all, I think when y'all say it doesn't matter, it's kind of going towards the negative side. Well, it doesn't matter.
That's not negative.
Okay.
It's just saying, I think, all right, so to me, this reminds me of a situation where you're just trying to check somebody's cool meter. Like, is this person cool? Can I relate to this person on a certain level? Because my guy actually sent me the video of Pascal saying that he listened to Diggable Planets and
essentially this video, right?
Like the same video. He sent it to me like 2-3 weeks ago, and I was like, I always knew he was cool, and he was like, yeah, me too, and that was it. I don't think that somebody's musical taste just because they mention it is a negative or a positive. It's just more so a relatability type thing. Like they listen to the same things that we listen to. So, okay, I can relate to him on that level. But other than that, I mean, remember how I gave y'all the story about how you used to be able to differentiate who was cool by what their musical taste.
I remember that.
And then I went to a Texas Roadhouse and the dude is playing some music that I would quickly identify a person as being cool. He had a MAGA sticker on the back of his truck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like things have changed now to where even things that you thought would identify somebody as cool, that's just kind of how they grew up. I mean, and they became this other person. That was them at that point of time in their life. So like, I mean, this whole discussion of just because they liked some, I can't even say A-list rap artists because these are some of the more elitist rap.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and that's what made your antennas go up. Oh, they like this type of rap. I don't really think that really makes a difference, or it doesn't. There's no credence to it in my book.
Yeah, and I don't think they have any responsibility to like talk about any particular type of hip hop artists or to amplify hip hop artists in a particular type of way when they're interviewed or go out of their way to do that. I don't think that's like a thing.
No.
You know what I mean? Like this isn't like a social issue. This is just like the music you like.
Right. I see where you're coming from. The cool meter thing is a very good analogy, by the way. That makes sense.